Long before the world knew the name Drake, he was simply a young boy trying to understand where he belonged in the world. Today, when people hear the name Drake, they think about fame, luxury, awards, and global success. They see a superstar who fills stadiums, breaks music records, and dominates charts across the world. But the road that led to that success was not smooth. It was filled with rejection, doubt, financial struggles, and moments when everything could have ended before it even began. Drake was born in Toronto, Canada. His real name is Aubrey Drake Graham. He grew up in a modest environment where life was not always easy. His father loved music and had some connections in the music industry, but those connections did not automatically guarantee success. When Drake was still a young child, his parents separated. This moment changed his life in many ways. After the separation, Drake was raised mainly by his mother. She worked extremely hard to make sure he had food on the table and a roof over his head. Being a single parent was not easy for her. Sometimes she had to work long hours just to keep their small family stable. Drake watched his mother struggle and sacrifice, and those experiences shaped the way he saw the world. Growing up, Drake often felt like he didn't fully fit in. School was not always a comfortable place for him. He was different from many of the other kids around him. Some classmates bullied him. Others made him feel like he did not belong anywhere. Those experiences were painful, but they also helped shape the emotional depth that would later appear in his music. Even though life was difficult, Drake had something inside him that pushed him forward. He had creativity. He loved storytelling, performing, and imagining himself entertaining people. Sometimes he would imagine standing on a stage in front of thousands of people while the crowd cheered. That dream felt very far away at the time. His first real opportunity to enter the entertainment world came through acting. As a teenager, Drake got a role in a Canadian television show called Degrassi, The Next Generation. On the show, he played the character Jimmy Brooks. For many young people, getting a role on a television show would feel like winning the lottery. It meant recognition and the possibility of a successful career. But the truth behind Drake's acting career was very different from what many people imagined. The money he earned from the show was not enough to live comfortably. Even though people saw him on television, he was still dealing with financial stress behind the scenes. At times, he and his mother struggled to pay bills. Sometimes life felt uncertain. Drake later revealed that acting helped him survive, but it did not make him rich. While acting kept him going financially, another dream was growing quietly inside him. Music. Drake wanted to become a rapper and artist whose voice could reach people across the world. He wanted to tell stories through music and express emotions that people could relate to. However, when he first started pursuing music seriously, many people did not take him seriously. To them, Drake was simply an actor trying to become a rapper. In the hip-hop world, that label became a problem. Some people laughed at him. Others doubted him. They believed he did not come from the traditional background that many rappers had. Because of that, they assumed he would never succeed in hip-hop. Record labels were not rushing to sign him. Music executives were skeptical about his potential. Even some listeners dismissed his music before giving it a real chance. Imagine chasing a dream while constantly hearing people say you are not good enough. Imagine working hard while the world keeps telling you that you don't belong. That was Drake's reality. But Drake refused to give up. Instead of waiting for someone to give him an opportunity, he decided to create his own path. He began recording music independently. He wrote songs, recorded them, and shared them online. Slowly, people began noticing something special about his sound. His music was different. He mixed rap with melody and emotional storytelling. His lyrics talked about real feelings, struggles, relationships, ambition, and self-reflection. In 2006, Drake released his first mixtape called Room for Improvement. The project did not become a massive success, but it was an important step in his journey. It showed that he was serious about music and willing to keep improving. 2 years later, he released another mixtape called Comeback Season. This project helped him gain more attention in the underground music scene. People started hearing his unique style and realizing that he had something different to offer. Still, the road was not easy. Many people in the music industry continued to doubt him. At that time, hip-hop was dominated by powerful artists like Lil Wayne. Breaking into that world was extremely difficult. But sometimes success comes from unexpected moments. Drake's music eventually reached Lil Wayne. The famous rapper heard Drake's songs and recognized something special in his voice and storytelling ability. Unlike many others in the industry, Lil Wayne believed in Drake's potential. That belief changed everything. Lil Wayne invited Drake to join his tour and become part of his music label. For Drake, this moment felt like a door opening after years of rejection. Someone powerful in the industry finally believed in him. However, this opportunity came with pressure. Drake now had to prove that he truly deserved the chance. He worked harder than ever before. He spent countless hours writing music, recording songs, and performing on stages where most people in the audience did not yet know his name. Slowly, things began to change. Fans started connecting with his honesty. They connected with the vulnerability in his lyrics and the emotional depth in his storytelling. Drake was not pretending to be someone else. He was simply being himself. In 2009, Drake released a mixtape called So Far Gone. This project became a major breakthrough in his career. Songs from the mixtape gained huge popularity online and on radio stations. For the first time, the world began paying serious attention. Suddenly, the same industry that once doubted him started recognizing his potential. Record labels that had once ignored him were now interested in working with him. It is interesting how quickly opinions can change when success begins to appear. Not long after that, Drake released his debut studio album Thank Me Later. The album debuted at #1 on major music charts, proving that he was no longer just an upcoming artist. He had arrived. From that moment forward, Drake's career continued to grow rapidly. Year after year, he released successful albums and hit songs that dominated charts across the world. His music connected with millions of people because it felt honest and emotional. But the most powerful part of Drake's story is not just the fame and success. It is the journey before the success. It is the moments when people doubted him. The moments when he had to believe in himself without outside validation. The nights when quitting might have seemed easier than continuing. Drake's story reminds us that rejection is not always the end of the road. Sometimes rejection is simply a test of how badly you want something. Many people stop when they hear the word no. But the people who change their lives often hear many no answers before they finally hear yes. Drake could have accepted the doubts and given up on music. He could have decided that acting was enough. He could have listened to the voices telling him that he did not belong in hip-hop. But he chose a different path. He chose persistence. He chose belief. He chose to keep creating, even when success was uncertain. Today, Drake is known as one of the most successful musicians in the world. His songs have been streamed billions of times. His influence reaches across continents, and his name is often mentioned in conversations about the most influential artists of his generation. But behind the fame lies the story of a young man who once faced rejection from the very industry he now dominates. And that is what makes his story powerful. Because it reminds us that success often begins in the exact place where people expect you to fail. If you are enjoying this story so far, make sure you subscribe to Story by Mayor. This channel is dedicated to sharing powerful stories about famous people who faced rejection, struggle, and doubt before they became successful. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss these inspiring stories. Because sometimes the story behind success can inspire us more than the success itself. If you are listening right now and feel like people doubt your dreams, remember something important. Every successful person has faced rejection. Every great journey begins with uncertainty. And sometimes the only difference between failure and success is the decision to keep moving forward one more time. The next time someone tells you that your dream is unrealistic, remember the young boy from Toronto who refused to stop believing in his music. Remember that the same world that once rejected him now celebrates his name. And remember that your story is still being written. Sometimes the people who are doubted the most become the ones who surprise the world the most. And that is exactly what Drake did. From rejection to global superstardom, his story shows the power of belief, persistence, and determination. If this story inspired you, type, "Never give up" in the comments so others can see your message. And don't forget to subscribe to Story by Mayor for more inspiring stories about the journeys behind success. Because the next story we share might be the one that changes the way you see your own future.